Welcome everybody, it's Rev. We are actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh today, which is insane. I haven't been playing much lately, but I wanted to try a new idea with the deck that you see in front of you, which I guess I will coin Ryko Wings, and just want to kind of talk about a little bit of the theory behind it and see whether or not it works out. I've played a few games with it on a different account, and it has actually been pretty good into some decks that Black Wings typically have trouble with, but pardon me if you hear any background noise. There is a crazy storm going on, a gale force storm, maybe. I mean, it's like maybe it's a blizzard, a fucking black whirlwind. So it's going crazy. Um, oh fuck, what the fuck is this, dude? Get that shit out of here. Get this shit the fuck out of here. Sorry, I just imported this deck, this Edison format dueling deck. So I haven't, what the fuck? I haven't spent a ton of time refining this. It's more of just an idea, but I'll talk about some of the iterations it's gone through and some of the card choices, and then maybe some gameplay. But really, the issue that I've been running into with Blackwings lately is that a lot of people have been running Consecrated Light in decks that typically didn't run it in the side, at least. And I've been running into a shit ton of decrees. It seems like higher amounts of Dimensional Prison are present. So really the issue with Blackwings is that it has a tough time getting going sometimes if your normal summon gets disrupted or one of your birds gets banished. So I kind of was thinking, like going through Dueling Book, like on the Edison card pool, like seeing like what types of removal could help that, like My Body is a Shield, like Nobleman of Extermination, like main Dust Tornadoes, all of which turned out to be kind of shit, quite frankly. Another opinion that I have that I constantly get flack for is that Icarus attack can be a huge liability, and I don't really think in most lists it's a 3 of. It's just honestly a little bit too conditional at times. And I've played enough Blackwings to know that Icarus attack is really great generic removal at times, but it's also a brick, and it also requires multiple conditions to be met. One of them being that you have a bird, one of them that you set it the turn before, the other, being that if you want to plus one, that your opponent has multiple cards, and then the other being like if you even want to activate it at all, at not a massive minus, that your opponent has two cards on the field that aren't chainable, which is becoming more and more rare nowadays. So, and then on top of that, I mean, like you auto lose because it has a cost, and Starlight Road exists. So, um, the idea was like looking for generic removal to solve some of those issues. And I kind of just toyed with this idea many months ago and played like literally one game with it and just never revisited it because it was in the middle of War League and I was just too busy with work. And then War League just sometimes isn't all that fun, so I just didn't want to play. But it was just Ryko Wings. So the idea is that Ryko solves some of the deck's issues. So generic removal is, of course, very good. Ryko's probably should have never been printed. It's just a very, very good card, a little overtuned. So it solves your issue with floodgates, stuff like Consecrated Light, Decree, all the other kind of like random bullshit. Like sometimes there's just like a shadow imprisoning mirror that's just fucking you. Like sometimes like even like an opponent's oppression can sort of fuck you. Sometimes your own oppression can fuck you. So it's just nice to be able to remove stuff. Um, Again, generic removal. The other thing is it allows you to play a little bit more slowly. So the sad part about Blackwings is you kind of just have to sometimes like jam cards and hope your stuff doesn't get banished. And the other part about Blackwings is it is an engine deck, but it's mostly a grave engine deck. Because like when you think about like your common setups with Blackwings, yeah, of course, like Shura on the field plus Kalut is more like a hand field like cross setup. But like Sirocco, Blizzard, Vayu, like are all kind of like grave effects that are better like when you have a grave setup. And like common setups with Blackwings, like sometimes you have like the chance to make a stronger board like if you attack over something with Shura, but you'll like bring over a Vayu or bring out a Vayu just so that like a few turns down the line, if you have a Sirocco in hand, like you can convert that. Or if like you have a Blizzard, sometimes you make like a quote unquote like suboptimal synchro like armed wing, just like if you have a Vayu setup so that you can, go into Armor Master. Actually, with this list, it's probably better to have two Armor Master as well. Now that I think about it. Um, so like what I'm kind of getting at is that sometimes the way you play the deck, you have to like think several turns ahead on like what other extenders are going to be, and if you get reversaled, like like whether or not you can bring out a Vayu Synchro or have like specific grave setup with Blizzard. Like sometimes you have to use a Kalut just because you have a Blizzard in hand and you know that you're going to need to bring out that Kalut from the grave with Blizzard, like those kind of plays. Um, so like what I was thinking is like milling in Black Wings is really, really powerful. And it kind of gets your engine going better than anything else. Like when you think about it, like Dad requires a grave setup, Vayu requires grave setup, Blizzard, um, Siroko's better like when it has a grave setup, like with a Vayu in there. So and like when you think about like what you would prefer to mill, like if you charge turn one or something, um, you'd prefer to mill like Siroko's. You're happy to mill Shura's, Bora's, maybe a Gale, maybe probably not. Kalut, you're happy to mill Vayu's. Like so, you have more targets than like Vayu Turbo for mills. Um, Now they're not as potent necessarily, like it's not a Plague or a Necro, but like getting a grave setup for Blizzard is like soon as turn one with charge is insane. Like just the high roll factor of being able to mill like a Vayu or Sirocco is also insane. So like let's count the targets that are like good mills. So like these 9 are good. This is 12. Uh 13, 14? Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 good mills. 9 plus 3 is 12. And then you get to 14 good mills. Like that just makes it so every time you mill, like since you get 3 mills, like a third of your deck is good mills, and you're getting 3 mills. So it's a very, very high likelihood that any mill you get is really good. So um, I think that's kind of really just like the the idea behind it. And like so far it's kind of worked well because it allows you to like actually set up. And Black Wings is a deck with inevitability, so like you don't have to like just go all in. And the Rykos allow you to play like that turn 1 and 2 a little bit slower, and they allow you to pick off back row and problem threats, and then just go in with like a Shura or whatever it might be with a setup grave. So it's been working pretty well so far. Um, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is some card choices. So one thing that came up for me is like Hamster, like just because I was used to playing Vayu Turbo, and Hamster is just an FTK. Like if you just draw Hamster turn one, like you just win. Like it's an FTK card. It's so fucking broken. And I tried it in this deck and have been on and off with it. Like I did 3 Ryko, no charge, 2 Hamster, but the issue was like Hamster's really good when it's supplemented by stuff like Caius. And like even stuff like Plague can be a really, really huge deal to set up. It's also a lot more important in Vayu because it has an 1800 butt, and Vayu um, generally wants to slow the game down in the first few turns unless they have like just some crazy nuts OTK. So kind of like a Gravekeeper Spy of Edison format. I don't think it fits as well in this deck. I'll probably test it again, but it kind of just didn't do much. Like sometimes it was more of a liability than anything, and the fact that it itself doesn't mill, I think just in this does make it worse than charge. In Vayu, I'm kind of hamster pilled. Like I think hamster is just better than charge, so it's like 2 hamster or bust. Like I don't do 1 and 1 anymore, but charge, like you just have so many good mills, and like it's not a hard +1 most of the time, but it just gets your engine revved so, pun intended by the way, so fast. Some other different card choices that I'll mention, and some other stuff that I haven't really had a lot of time to work on just because this is kind of newer. Well, it's an old idea, but something I'm kind of just resurrecting is the sideboard. So normally I like 2 noblemans. I just think it's better than Mindcon. But Mindcon does allow you to convert hamsters. Like if you even just keep in like 1 Ryko, depending on how the matchup goes. I've also really been liking 2 crows. I think this is a 2 crow meta. And I think if you're not on 2 crows at this point, you're just kidding yourself. Everything else is very standard. Black Wings is kind of one of those decks where like I feel like if you had like 17 like side deck choices, it would just like you could cover everything so well. So like it does get very, very tight. Um, you wish you just had a little bit more space. But um, the last thing I'll say, like with the side deck construction, is I haven't had a lot of time to like work on like what slots in and what slots out perfectly. So like with any good list that's been worked on a lot, you want to make sure that for like your most common matchups like Black Wings or Vayu or Frogs, that like the same amount of cards slot in and out. So that you don't have to leave in like suboptimal cards. Like so, for instance, versus Frogs, I usually side out the Reiko package. Um, and so far, like I still have to leave in some like suboptimal cards that I don't like keeping in versus Frogs just because I haven't figured out all the ratios yet. So we'll see if that comes up in the gameplay. But just another thing to consider that there's probably some tinkering and like ratio stuff that needs work to make things like slot in and out perfectly, so you don't have to keep in kind of shitty cards for at least the most common matchups. Like if you're going up against something weird, then of course your side deck's not going to line up perfectly. But Those are my thoughts. I'm gonna clip this, and we're just gonna jump into a match and see what it do and how it be. All right, we in this bitch. I did load up a game like 10 seconds ago, but it was against Hero Frog, so I just quit out because I don't think that would be a very good deck to showcase the deck against, just because the Ryko package does come out first that. So what the fuck? Did I just win a dice roll? That's insane. That's never happened before. That is insane. Also very high ranked gameplay. 117. Woo! Yeah. All right, so I mean this guy's a decent rank, I guess, so it might be good. We're definitely doing Ryko first. The question is, we're not playing charge because we don't want to reveal that. We're not alluring because we don't want to reveal, and we also have more limited hand knowledge, or pardon me, knowledge on what we would want to discard. Oh, my apologies. And if it's like a floater, we're setting Nimpriz. My mute button sometimes doesn't work, so I tried to mute that cough, by the way, so don't at me. Yeah, so I think this is right. Like, we don't want to give him the knowledge of our deck and what our set is, and we also don't want to make a card choice with Allure until we know what his shit is. Okay. So we see an upstart. Could be a lot of things. That could also be a chainable. So, what are like big punishes here? If we summon Bora and it's like torrential, we probably just lose. We also don't. Hmm, we have no reads on anything. I think if he's on upstart, he's less likely to be on Yada. But Reiko face up is also a liability. So there's just like a lot of different positions that kind of fuck us here. You know what? Maybe moral of the story is we just pass. I'm gonna try it. I don't know if that's right or not, but the whole idea of the deck was to just play more slowly. So let's do that. Oh, okay, Birdmere. So we're targeting the back row here, of course. This is actually probably very fucking good for us. Okay, well, that's not a good hit, but that's also really bad, just in case we mill or draw with another Ryko. So we kind of have to activate charge. We got no good mills. We have to activate charge first, so let's just do that. Okay, those are some good mills. Where you at, Ryko? What we are gonna do is try to dig for a Shura. That would be busted. No such luck. We have defense, so we can summon Sirocco. Boar is pretty bad in this matchup. This acts as generic removal. We have no tuner for Brain Con, so that's not a consideration. Vayu is buns, but we do have Sirocco, so if we can get an Icarus, we can convert off of it later. And this is going to get run over by the stuff we care about it getting run over with the same way, so I mean, we could just go for extra damage and say fuck the value at this point, but I think that's a little reckless. I think that's a little reckless. Because we could set up, like, we don't even need to necessarily summon the value. Like, it's kind of likely if we draw a Blizzard that we can make a Brio and pitch it. So I think this goes. We're obviously not summoning or setting Ryko because then we have to burn a Dimpriz on this little bitch. Summoning Sirocco here, like, this isn't really a scary threat, but we can back it up, so all right, we're not exposing any more back row. We don't need to. I mean, if he has like exactly Whirlwind plus Summon, that sucks, but we have the out to Whirlwind most likely, and then yeah, he probably wouldn't even summon or use the Whirlwind, so I don't think it makes sense to set bottomless here. Okay, he's probably gonna sack this off or sync with it or something. Fine, we can top deck Dad. Wow. Just attacking like that? Okay. There might have been merit to thinking about that a little bit more. That was a little reflexive because, like, would we ever brain con something like that? Nah, we wouldn't actually. We can't sack for it. We don't have to worry about Icarus right now, at least. Um, if we get this in the grave, that does set up for Armed Wing with the Sirocco. And then we have Kalute as well, and it bluffs Ryko, but what does bluffing Ryko even do? What would he not do if he thought we had Ryko? I think we want to get that set up. I think we have to. I'm not really worried about him. Oh, did he not gain? I don't think we have to worry about Magical Android that much right now because we have Mirror Force. So yeah, let's play the slow game. I don't think we need to worry about that being a pro set heavy. Probably. If it is, then he's a pro. Literally, pro set. Does he have dad access? So yeah, it was definitely correct to set. He's gonna make a thought ruler? He's gonna make fucking Dark End? Lol. Another Stardust? What in the fuck are you on, bro? Who the fuck runs two Stardust in their Blackwing extra deck? Are we cooked here? Do we have to burn a bottomless on that and then make him use this Stardust? I think we do. Okay. And we're just gonna remove that with the Mirror Force, I guess. Just don't think we want to take 28. Yeah, this game is not going well so far. Damn. Alright. That does give us an out to Stardust though, and like maybe even lethal, right? Is he just dead? I have to thonk about it a little bit. Okay, so we can brain. It's so laggy. What do we have set up here? We can make 23, which cancels out his 23. I have 25 plus 32. But we can swing over with Shurikalut. So, wow, that's insane. That is insane. Okay, so this is a weird. Before we do this, like, what is his fucking list? Call of the Haunted, Double Stardust. I don't even know what the fuck is going on. Normal someone. I mean, see, the thing is, like, I'm getting in my own head a little bit. It's like, oh, what if there's a fader? Like, maybe we would want to like do something else with this, but just say fuck it. Like the negated value that is with like his um dust. But you know what? Fuck it. Let's take this. I don't see any reason not to, right? Yeah. Just has to be like the technically correct play, despite it like not really mattering. In case there's like fader or something, which is just absurd. Um, yeah, and then we're bringing out. I don't think it matters what we bring out, but we are going to bring out this to sync with his shit, just in case he lives. I mean, his deck's so weird, like, he might be on fucking Fader. or like a trag or something. You never know. I know that's like a 0.0001% thing, but might as well play around it. All right, so these are good. Deuce Tornadoes are good. This is good. We try to high roll them with deck dev. Let's see how the deck lines up. So I normally don't like keeping in values versus Black Wings just because they get run over too easily. We kind of saw that in that game, like they are just a liability. I'm not keeping in shoot. I don't think it's that good in the mirror, and we're going second. It's like, what are the high priority side outs? We have 5. Just because we're on a mill engine, I don't know if it's correct yet to side these out. I don't like Bora in the mirror. It's again kind of just a mid stat line. Uh, Solemn, I think we do side out just for the life point liability. I am sometimes a fan of like switching in like Icarus attacks versus Dust Tornadoes, like as the switch up, but in this instance, I don't think it's really necessary. The issue always, again, kind of just being you sometimes get blown out by road. So yeah, we're kind of seeing like the side deck doesn't yet, like because I haven't worked on this that much, like perfectly line up with like exactly what I want to do. Like, sometimes I like having the flexibility to like pull these switcheroonie and like take out Icarus attacks. And I know that's sacrilege to a lot of people. People love their Icarus attacks, but you can bet your bottom dollar if he's on 2 Stardusts that this dude has some fucking some roads. Like there's just no doubt in my mind that he's got some roads. So maybe we should have. So he knows about our Dust Tornado, our Kalute, 2 Rykos, Sidra, and Bora. What's he take? What does that tell us? So he's taking Cyber Dragon. That tells us that this gets run over by Cyber Dragon, and he probably doesn't have a bottomless. I'm not sure if we can deduce that yet. Um, so into a set, now that he knows everything we have, what could this possibly? He might, if he's setting here, that kind of leads me to believe it might be like a setup for an Icarus or something, and he just doesn't want this to die. I'm just gonna go for this and see what happens. I'm not really worried about Bora getting banished here, honestly. Yeah, I think he was trying to scam us with Icarus. Um, so yeah, if we like would have set the Dust Tornado Ryko, that would have been very bad for us. He knows this is a Dust Tornado. That's fine. He only has the value engrave, right? Is he gonna special something? Knows about our Kalute. Uh, Rain. That's really unfortunate. We're probably cooked this game. Getting Dust Shoot brained. What's he gonna bring out here? Probably Armed Wing so he can sync with this later from the grave. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're just gonna be taking too much damage here. Um, if that's an Icarus, we don't need to make a decision yet. So, what's our grave? Just Bora. His grave is a Blizzard. Kind of sucks because we can do a decent amount of damage here, but doesn't matter. We have no follow through with this. We have absolutely no follow through. We're gonna just take a fuck ton of damage. Um, our only chance to win is removing that Icarus, if it is Icarus, which I think it is. Um, yeah, and then we can do 28 plus 14, which is 42, and I guess we could technically attack with Ryko. Is that a winning play though? What is a winning play here? I think we have to go for some scam shit. So we obviously have to get our mill engine going, but do we have to brain control this turn? And we don't. We definitely don't have to collude, of course. So I think that is going to be our main source of damage. So I think we have to actually get in the damage now. Like this is super desperate, but I think it's actually correct. Because like what I'm thinking is we are going to set the Ryko and almost assuredly target this next turn. Um, so if we kill it, that's 2,800 damage with this brain con that we can't do. So it makes sense to just get the damage in, and we're going to take a shit ton of damage too. So just how it goes. And dropping the Kalute here accomplishes nothing, I think. So, yeah. I think we're just sadly getting non-gamed a bit by this shoot. Okay, so are we dead? Not yet. 2,700. Oh my god. That is so nasty. That is gross. All right. That was fucked. That was so fucked. All right. That's gonna happen some percentage of the time. Actually, you know what? Let's try to scam him with deck dev. I think we were gonna do that. Um, hmm. So we're definitely expecting at least one road. I mean, if he's on 2 Stardusts, like that almost makes me wonder if he's on 2 roads just to like scam the living balls out of people. And it makes me wonder like if we side out Icarus and Heavy Storm and just high roll his balls off. Because like the thing is that's nice is like with the Rykos we do have sufficient back row removal, I think. So let's just see how this works. I don't know if it's worth doing, but okay, this hand's interesting. I think it's a pretty easy set Ryko, set Dimpriz, and if he tries to send in trash to the Ryko to pick it off, then we just Dimpriz it. And if not, we can try to pick off back row or something. Sure. Okay, that's fine. Don't think that's a big deal. Because honestly, like what that means is that if he draws his second knock, if he's on 2 knocks, then we're in the money. Here, he definitely is going to have back row. So I'm a lot more inclined to, let's just let this go. Let's let this go. And I do want to banish that eventually, but hey. All right, so is there any way we can set up for a scam-ass deck dev? So if we normal Shura, what kind of bones us is bottomless? And if we don't attack, maybe we could like send in the Bora? Nah. I mean, there's like 0% chance that he can't remove that. So, and I don't think we can burn the Kalute. So if he has his own Kalute. Okay, so it's not bottomless. Could be a Dimpriz or an Icarus. I'm attacking anyway. What? That went through? That very much surprises me. Um, we sided out the second value, right? Yeah. Is it lagging so bad? All right, this is very good. We're not keeping any of this up. What could that possibly be? Probably back row removal. Could be a road. Could be a bluff knock. Lol. All right. Could be a pro set heavy, which I'm not really that worried about. But he would have. I don't think he would have. No, it's not pro set heavy. Um, let's fake think on this. So he's obviously thinking about summoning something else. So, like Gale maybe? And then we're just gonna... That's fine. I'm not worried about that at all. It's the Call of the Haunted, I guess. You're gonna try to pump over it? We're in the money, dude. We're so in the money. His call stays up too, so that's like another Icarus target if we need it. And if he just happens to be some dude on Gores, then we're Gucci. Um, A's. All right, so I don't really think there's much of a point to commit anything else because that plays into Icarus, and we can almost assuredly make something he can't get over after the fact. And if this attack goes through, then we're good to go anyway. What? I'm so surprised. Like, what are these sets? So he has no Icarus, no Dimpriz, no Mirror for zone 2 and 4. That's weird. Could be Torrential, though that seems kind of rare in Black Wings, so could be a Dead Knock Road. I guess we probably get a little bit more aggressive next turn, right? Yeah, we're definitely getting more aggressive here, and even Dark's in the Grave. If he's setting something, then we can set up a Dad here, and I think he might have Bottomless. Yeah. I think we just preemptively do this. I'm doing it. Yeah, that's not great. And hand bub. Oh shit. That's kind of fucking terrifying. Can we kill? So if we dark armed and he bottomlesses, then we're not worried about brain. And then we have definite lethal. So neg. What the fuck is this guy on? Oh my god. Alright. He's on Call of the Haunted Oppression. Dude's trying to scam me. Alright. So we have Bora. What we're really worried about at this point is bottomless. But even through bottomless next turn, we're probably okay. And there's no world where we just summon Gale, right? Is there? Because then he could sync with it with his brain control if he chop decks something, so we just have to play into bottomless. So not bottomless. This almost definitely isn't a battle trap. And then we're not special summoning under oppression, of course. Deuce Tornado. The fucking tornado. Right. Damage? That doesn't make revolution. 31, 23, 8. You know what's kind of funny is like we actually could just normal Gale sync, and like if he negates it, we have a value in the grave, and then we can just win. um, I don't think we need to do that. Is that too fancy? I think we win anyway. Like, what could he have possibly been holding? I don't think. Yeah, let's just do the normal stuff. Like, that's a fucking Starlight or something. GG. See if he'll reveal that. Oh, dang. All right, well, I guess we got it. That was fucking weird. This guy's a kind of high rank to like for some of those deck building choices. I also don't know if bringing in Nobleman is worth it. You know what? Let's check the replay. We're doing an extended special for the sub dub dubs. See what that was, because like where I'm going with this is like even if they side in Noblemans, it's not like you're setting that much. You're only setting Rykos, and even if you knock a Ryko, then like the rest of your knocks are just dead, and it thins my deck too. So like if this gets knocked, like I'm gonna have higher threat density in my deck, my Edison format dueling deck. All right, so we did not make a read on call. We knew it wasn't like a summon interruption or a battle trap, but I would not think call would stay. Seems too slow, especially when you're keeping an oppression. Oh, it was a bluff knock. I guess I got that right. See? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like if somebody knocks you, like we just pot of greeted him, like our delinquent dude him. He just went -1 for no reason, and we thinned our deck by 2 more cards than he did. So turned out to be really good. I might play with this deck a little bit more on video at least. I mean, I think I'm definitely just gonna kick around with it, like whenever I do feel like playing this format, and see if it's worth it. I'm not entirely sure that this video actually like showed what this deck is capable of. It didn't really like. I mean, it was pretty decent for removal, but like I don't think it really got our engine in motion, like some of the other matches I've played. So, let me know what you guys think of it, and if you try it, whether or not you think it uh, doesn't necessarily solve the issues of Black Wings, but makes them less bad. But thanks for tuning in. Peace out. I'm out. Text me. What it do?